She's going to talk to us about success and stepping outside of the box and the fear of disappointing others, what it really means to be wealthy. Welcome. Hi, Kalilah.
Hi, Carol. Hi,
How,
everybody.
how are you?
I am great. Kalilah, by the way.
Oh, I know it, and I do it every
I
time.
know every single
Thank
time
you.
we speak.
Thank you for the grace to Kalilah. Beautiful. Thank you for that kindness and forgiveness. Tell us today, when you and I were able to speak, you were there with your beautiful family. Your wonderful husband came up, said hello. He gave her a kiss on the cheek just to support. And I thought, this is cool. This is
He
very
didn't
cool.
know I was in a meeting.
Oh, that's so funny. So it was just a nice surprise for me
Yes.
to experience a bit of that love and support. Very cool. So tell us today, Kalilah, which I love
Got
saying.
it. She got
I
it.
love saying it correctly. Talk to us about success and wealth and thinking outside the box and this fear of disappointing others and what that does, what that costs us in our overall definition of wealth.
Carol, a lot of people are so afraid of success, and it seems counterintuitive, right? Because we tell ourselves that we want to be successful, and we sometimes maybe even catch ourselves being envious of others who are successful. But when it comes time to pursuing that success for ourselves and pursuing that wealth for ourselves, we get so scared.
Mm,
We get so afraid of taking the leap that is required to become successful.
mm,
And then we become afraid of what success may look like in our lives. So it may be that, yes, we have accumulated the wealth, we've done all the things, and we've gotten wealthy. But does that now mean that I've changed?
right.
That I no longer fit in with my family or with my community? What are the things that are going to change about me when I achieve the level of success that I say I want, but
Right.
never really take the steps or the actions to do? What are the things that are holding us back? And I have this, there's a coach that I've worked with before who always talks about your limiting beliefs.
Hmm.
I never realized that I had limiting beliefs. I always thought, the sky is the limit and whatnot. But when I really sat down and when she challenged me on some of the perceptions that I had, for example, like you said, I'm in Jamaica now. Well, I live in Jamaica. I'm originally from Belize. And one of the limiting beliefs that I didn't realize I had was whether I could be relatable to a wider audience
Mm.
outside of Belize when I came to Jamaica, and now that I'm in Jamaica, outside of Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Oh,
Would people in, for example, your audience, Carol, be able to relate to me? I have this accent, I have a completely different background and upbringing. Would people be able to hear my message, relate to my message, and act upon my message? Would they trust me? Would they believe in me? And I had this, in the back of my mind, I had this doubt that they wouldn't. And
oh, wow.
because I had that doubt that they wouldn't, I never pursued that audience. So you would have reached out to me a few weeks ago and I would have told you no, because I wouldn't have believed in myself that your people want to hear from me. And so I
Wow.
would have let that opportunity pass me by. But
Wow.
not anymore. Those are the types of limiting beliefs that we need to challenge within ourselves. And they may be subconscious, because that one was subconscious for me. I did not realize it until I was called out and challenged about it.
Wow. You know what's so cool about this? Number one is I know this is relating to a lot of people listening, but you said, had you and I had the conversation we had, I believe it may have been 2 weeks ago. Had it been a few weeks before that,
Maybe a year before,
okay, but
same
even
time last year.
as recently as a year,
Mm-hmm.
you as this amazing speaker and coach and mentor to so many people working upon success. What is so cool about this is that what you're saying is these limiting beliefs that we may not even recognize are there for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, whenever we had that fun conversation, you said to me, many of your clients tell you that they don't really want to be wealthy.
Right. That's so true.
And
They
that
say,
they
they
say, but I
say,
do want a car and a nice this and a nice that. And after they tell you the individual things, items, if you will, that they want, you're like, well, I think you're saying you want to be wealthy. You know,
yes. So what they say is that they want to be comfortable,
uh,
right?
which is
And,
wealthy, as we
and
all know.
I grew up with that mindset as well, that you should not pursue wealth because it is selfish and greedy. And those are things that are synonymous with wealth in the way that I was raised. And a lot of people who, are really into the church and so on, they hear things like this all the time. Money is the root of all evil. And I grew up Catholic.
Yes.
So in the Catholic Church, the priests take a vow of poverty. And so this idea of poverty and doing without and restraining yourself is something that I grew up hearing and seeing in practice as well. And so, but when you really add up all the things that you want to be comfortable, like you said, you're really saying that you need to be wealthy in order to be comfortable. Because what do you need to be comfortable? Let's start making a list. What are the things that you need to be comfortable? And we can start with the most basic needs, the hierarchy of needs. For example, you need security and shelter. So you need a house. Houses are very expensive,
Oh my
right?
goodness. Yes.
So that's number one. You need food to survive. Food is getting very expensive. Like every time I go to the supermarket, the cost is just insane. How
Yes.
much, inflation has impacted us all. So food and water, you need shelter, you want transportation. So you need to be able to get around reliably. So you need a reliable car. I'm not even talking about an extravagant anything. I'm not talking about a
Right.
Range Rover or an X6, just a reliable car,
Yes.
something
Yes.
that can get you around. When you start writing down these numbers, you need health care, health insurance in the United States, extremely expensive. You need education for yourself and your children, also very expensive, especially when you get to the university level. All
Yes.
of these things, when you write them down and you itemize how much they cost, and you look at that final number, you realize I kind of need to be wealthy in order to be comfortable. And so this fear that we have of wealth and of being judged for being wealthy is completely unjustified, because this is just basic comfort living. My daughter right now, my oldest, is 21, and she has this little tiny dog named Bella, a Pomeranian, so adorable. And she was living in the United States. She was at FIU, and now she is coming back home, and she needs to bring the dog home. But Jamaica has a million restrictions to import animals. And as a matter of fact, when we went to the vet said that Jamaica has the most restrictions in the entire world for importing pets.
Wow.
So I'm saying all of this, I'm coming to a point, I promise.
I know.
So we went to the vet to get Bella all her series of tests that she needs. Guess how much the vet bill came up to?
I don't know, but I'm going to say $800. Oh, look, you're giggling. It
I
must.
have spent about $3,000 so
Oh,
far
ouch.
to get this dog back to
Ouch.
Jamaica.
The Golden Bella is what I'm going to call her.
So far, because I still need to pay her airfare to come back home as well. And you think about something like that, right? If you are not in a comfortable position to afford that, that becomes a problem. And you have to give up, because this dog, she's my daughter's emotional support animal. Like, she's a licensed, registered emotional support animal.
Wow.
She's taken my daughter through a lot of very difficult times. And so for us, giving up Bella is not an option. And all the dog moms in the building, you can relate to all the pet moms, all the cat moms, you can probably relate.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
can't just abandon your pet in another country. You got to do what you got to do to get her back home. And so, yes, it is a lot of money for a lot of people, but you do want to be in a position where you're comfortable enough to be able to pay that $3,000 when you need to, when the time comes up and that emergency does hit.
Well, you know what, Kalilah, what's another interesting point about wealth that's not on the need list. However, it is such an important piece, especially I grew up and still in the Catholic Church, to be able to be comfortable enough to give
Mm-hmm.
and to share. You know, in a perfect world, we give away everything we have and we live with nothing. And that's such a beautiful, the story about the wonderful lady who gave, she only had a little bit and she gave almost every bit of it to the poor at the church.
Right.
And I have to say, some of the most generous, giving, mission minded, charitable people that I have ever known in my life are some of the, in many ways, but right now I'm talking about monetarily, wealthiest people I've ever known.
Mm-hmm.
Their number one place that they put a lot of their money is into charitable giving. And I love that. And a lot of the charitable giving, one of the speakers earlier, his mission to help these wonderful people, but they have just grown up and they're in poverty, is to teach them to fish. And if we are not comfortable enough, let's just call that wealthy enough, we may have fear of giving.
Mm-hmm.
So I just spin this to yet another positive on growing and being okay with being successful on all levels, but certainly monetarily.
That's so
And
true. That's so true. And it's not only about charity. So your mind may automatically go to charity, but look even closer to home, being able to help your family.
oh, that's charity. Yes.
Your grandma needs surgery.
Yes.
Your uncle needs help with his business, just being able to help those who are close to you, who you love. You
Yeah.
have unexpected expenses that pop up all the time. And if you are in a position to be the hero of the family, I mean, hey, that props to you.
Yes.
Because
And
giving starts at home.
that's right. And I love this because these conversations lead to curiosity and self-discovery. And when you bring up the fear of success, one of the speakers earlier, Samantha, she translates the fear of success really to the fear of the work that comes with the success. And I think that is a big piece of it. It's like, oh, okay, sometimes we act like we don't want to become monetarily wealthy because we don't need that. When really what that is that sounds like a lot of work to me.
But what it really is, Carol, is a fear of the unknown.
Yeah, sure.
So not just not knowing what lies beyond success, but also not knowing the steps to become wealthy and the steps to become successful. And because we don't know, we're scared to ask because we feel like, for example, the stock market is a perfect example. A lot of people who come to me don't even know what the stock market is, don't know what stocks are. And so you challenge them and you realize, okay, and let me tell you, the reason that they don't want to ask for help is because they feel like I should know this already.
Yes.
Everyone already knows. I'm the only one who doesn't know. And so once
Yes.
again, we come into the fear of being judged.
Yes.
And
Oh,
so because you didn't know, you never asked, and so you never became what you were supposed to become.
Ah, that is
Happens
such
all the time.
a beautiful way to put that, and so true. What I love about you and all the speakers, one of the biggest messages, I won't say it's the most important, but certainly one of the most important, is that asking for help is the greatest example of strength and courage. And it is the number one step that I hope all of the audience realizes, is that number one is you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So many people don't know whatever it is that you don't know, what I don't know. And we cannot grow and we cannot help and educate others if we do not take that first step to ask
Mm-hmm.
someone such as yourself.
I'll tell you, I'll give you a joke, Carol. So my
Uh,
background is in journalism. I've been in many rooms at many press conferences, and presentations are being given, and person is going on and on and on, delivering this fabulous speech, this amazing presentation with all the jargon and all the big words. And at the end of it, I look around and or while it's going on, I look around and I'm like, all these people must be way smarter than me because I have no idea what this person is talking about. And so when the time comes for Q&A, no one asks anything. Everybody's scared to ask. So I'm assuming that they all know and I didn't know. But then
and
I'm a
I didn't
journalist and I
either.
need to go back and report. So I need to know what he's talking about. So I raise my hand and I say, what is ABC that you were referring to for this whole presentation? Like the most basic question. And I guarantee you, every single time I have asked that basic question at the end of the event, there are a bunch of people who come up to me and say, thank God you asked, because I had no idea what this guy was talking
That,
about.
I mean, that is so
Every single
awesome.
time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Kalilah, I have to tell you a story. My one of 11 kiddos, number three, is married to Francis, married to this hilarious, very smart, very successful on all the levels gentleman, and it was his birthday. Many people gathered. A gentleman that he had worked with, that they, just cared about each other so much, stood up, got the mic, and I'll just tell you, every word was at least, well, every third word was at least 4 syllables. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am definitely not smart enough to speak at this event. So one of my wonderful brother-in-law, our brother-in-laws are wonderful, gets up there and said, I just want to thank y'all so much. And I only have one thing to say: supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That none of us understood anything
Oh
that
my.
this very dear gentleman had talked about, and everybody died laughing, and then everyone felt at ease. So, like you, he made everyone feel at ease when nobody really understands what these people are talking about.
Mhm.
It's okay not to know. It's okay. As a matter of fact, it's courageous, and everything that's good to ask the question.
Mhm.
I thank you
Absolutely.
so much for your time. I believe the team has dropped to the participants your generous offer. I know that so many will reach out. I am so grateful that you realized how much not only people want to know, but we need to know. We need you, United States and globally. And thank you for going through your growth process a year ago and doing that, because I know that you have been such a gift and have shared such value with so many here today, inclusive of myself. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thanks for having me. And thanks to everyone who's participating today. Great to have you guys.
Oh my goodness. And we'll talk again, I hope, very soon.
Yes, absolutely.